Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having us and joining this tokenization webinar. We can move on to the introduction slides. Great. So my name is Wayne Chang. I'm the head of product at Alpine. I work at ConsenSys, and I'm part of a very involved group that's trying to build this infrastructure we need to advance the Ethereum ecosystem and also create the necessary materials to tokenize things and derive business benefits from it. Prior to that, I led token advisory at the ConsenSys Token Foundry, spoke to over 200 founders, I'd say, who were working on their visions in the blockchain ecosystem and also in digital assets. And before that, I was writing code at startups and trying to make things happen there.
Hey, this is Clemens at ConsenSys Solutions at R3 and Credit Suisse. And yeah, looking forward to sharing more about tokenization.
And I'm Jeff, just here to support. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. Yep, so what we will cover, we're going to talk about what tokenization is, why it's useful, and some example use cases. We're going to give specific tokenization strategies that we've seen people employ or think about or conduct due diligence. We're going to talk about token design. How do we think about creating a token, structuring it, making sure that there is economic value there, and how do you get involved? And we're really excited to talk to you about tokenization in particular, because between talking to startups about what their grand visions are for the space, through our solutions organization, we also have the privilege of talking to enterprises such as yourselves, probably a lot in the room, about what the needs are there. When you have a P&L to manage and we have to make this quarter work, how can this actually improve the business in the long term? So at this intersection is why we think we can give you a lot of value. Cool, so moving on. Let's just agree on a definition. There's a lot of discussion about tokens, token this, token that, right? A token to cure cancer, a token to enable a decentralized economy, right? There's a lot of talk about tokens. I think the best thing that we can do is agree on one definition that we can work off of. If we disagree with the definition, of course, feel free to reach out after, and I'm happy to discuss with you after. But for now, let's go with this definition. A token is a digital artifact that represents a metered resource. They're often implemented via smart contracts, software collectively run by a network of computers. So token engineering would be trying to glue these tokens, these digital artifacts, to actually what they're supposed to represent. I can create billions of tokens over my coffee break, but no one would believe me if I said that each token represents a bar of gold, right? So there are many layers of security that we have to create to convincingly represent your unit of value, whether it's a common stock, bonds, voting rights, a physical asset, or some kind of digital scarcity with a consensus algorithm behind it. So these layers of security include leaning on real-world legal contracts that are valid across multiple jurisdictions and governments, crypto-economic security, which sets a high waterline for financial costs that has to be breached before anyone can think about conducting an attack. It incorporates cryptographic security, which confers digital ownership in the form of private keys, and even physical security if we have some custodial element at bay. So we're going to get into basically one relevant example. So casino chips, not quite a token on the blockchain or anything like that, but I think they're useful to start with because they exhibit many similarities with the benefits that you see with tokenization. So casino chips provide, yes, they're dealing with gambling, right? But the point of what we're trying to make, excuse me one second. We're trying to look at the real economic business benefits of casino chips. So for example, they're engineered with better security, behavioral benefits, and convenience. If they're stolen, for example, they can't be accepted as legal tender anywhere else, and it's kind of trivial to trace where they came from, making them very less attractive to steal. Regulators can set regulations for casino chip standards across all casinos to just protect consumers wholesale. And lastly, because they're slightly divorced from cash, some people say that they create more engagement and enjoyment for casino goers. So with tokenization, we can just start out the gates with many of these benefits just pre-programmed, because software can be reused as a building block with really low costs. The technology infrastructure is coming along, and again, I can issue secure digital tokens globally in under 30 minutes. Of course, it's more complicated than that to have something useful, but my point is that the governance of this digital ownership has been successfully trialed, baked into reusable infrastructure, and can now be used to power all of our new projects.